Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Brand new video on Marvel Contest of Champions. In amongst all the rubbish that is going on at the moment in the game, let's try and focus on something that's coming in the future. And in particular, this little bit of information that came on the Reddit for Contest of Champions. And it was announcing Act 5, Chapter 2, which is Betrayal. And obviously, as we know from the kind of silhouettes that we see, this is going to be about the collector or the collector's side of things in whatever story that they're creating. And before I go anywhere, I just want to kind of point out this information. This was from a tweet that was put on the Marvel Contest of Champions page, but then was responded back by MCOC, and it basically asked the question about an official announcement for Act 5 Chapter 2 based on the information we're going to go into. And the response from Kabam, which was basically the info being circulated is not entirely accurate. We will be announcing final details once we are ready to, but we have been beta testing it. So it does, I'm not sure. The thing is, right, the way that our trust level with Kabam has gone, it's hard to kind of take anything seriously. Obviously, the big disappointment about the way that things are data mined is, yeah, okay, we get to see spoilers. That's great and it's fantastic. But the downside is sometimes the developer's not even ready to kind of push this out. And when they're pushed to put out a kind of a release or anything like that, they make mistakes. And the problem is making mistakes ultimately leads to, well, us going, hey, you're a pretty useless company. If you're number one, you allowed your device and whatever you have to be data mined, firstly. Secondly, you've got to be prepared for any eventuality, including spoilers and leaks. The same thing can be said for the Disney ransom thing with Pirates of the Caribbean 5. So lessons are going to be learned by the company. So as you can see here in this photo, this is taken as a screenshot, and this is by Kipper. Shout out to Kipper. And this is showing that indeed we are missing somebody in the hot seat. Now in Arena, you should know that the collector is usually in the seat like this, lording it up, having a real good time watching the battle commence between champions. And yeah, he's gone. This is really clever, and I do like this nice little touch with regards to, hey, where's the collector? Well, he's off to fight a battle with the Grandmaster, so that is a pretty cool little setup. In essence, what Chapter 2 of Act 5 does, it sets up this kind of like, similar to Civil War. Remember we had the Iron Man faction, or we had the Captain America faction, the kind of the red versus blue. Something similar is coming, which is going to be pretty decent again, to have this kind of, again, unique aspect to our story mode, to our chapters, and to a whole kind of battle realm in essence, because, well, it can be a bit mundane just doing the same thing. So this liven it up with scrapyards and dimensional rifts. Now we've got something, again, a little bit new. The aspect with regards to storyline all borders around the isosphere. And to give you an idea, if you've read the Marvel Contest of Champions comic books, you can see it's all about the isosphere. Maestro's trying to get it. You've got Outlaw down here that's got the isosphere there. So it's a pretty interesting thing. I don't really know how to properly describe it, except for it's a thing of complete power. So in this information, it basically says Chapter 2 of Act 5 is launching June 15th. So we've not got a lot of time left. There are 2 more chapters to follow before the end of 2017, so I don't know, if we're looking at it and putting it in 3-month blocks, so say March was the Act 1, and then it's going to be June for Act 2, September is 3 months after June, and then it's December, 3 months after September. So that's kind of the logic behind it. It seems pretty well solid. So as said earlier, it does seem like there's a faction setup similar to Civil War, and that was a great little time, and it differed the things with regards to you're getting, like your shards and what it applies to. The rewards were different, the different boosts, that kind of thing, yada yada. Seems it's pretty self-explanatory. The downside that I find with Marvel Contest of Champions is rush culture, in that it's all about, as soon as something's released, complete it just like that. It's like, it's fine, but I guess not a lot of people can do that, so a lot of people aspire to do that. But the same, the same issue applies with this, that Kabam actually welcome rush culture, because you have to complete it by the 10th of September. Before the 10th of September, the rewards are greater. After the 10th of September, they're not as good, which, again, rush culture. people that may have like just completed, I don't know, halfway through Act 4 will feel that they would have to bust the gut to then get that completed to then get in. I mean, I myself are just about to complete Act 5, but I'm kind of trying to do other things in the meantime, as well as running my YouTube channel. So sometimes it ain't always possible, unless I kind of lose sleep, and, you know, I don't want to lose sleep. I like sleep. As difficulties go, Kabam have set that it's going to be a lot more difficult to complete prior to September. So the next time when it kind of resets in September, whether or not this is the factions thing or not, it means that the quests are going to be easier to complete. So I guess in some ways they are punishing the people that are going quickly, because there's going to be a lot of say bullshit that you have to kind of like wade through in order to get those rewards. So Kabam have done new buffs, which is a good thing and also a scary thing at the same time. Power Shield, Buffet, Masochism, Bane, Roll Reversal and Shatter. Roll Reversal, just to kind of like start off with, I like the idea of class relationship bonuses are reversed. So you're necessarily like taking a mystic against a science. That kind of concept is completely new. So one thing that I will commend Kabam on is being fresh and coming up with a fresh idea. Because yeah, they can be accused of being a bit repetitive with the game. The game is pretty much repetitive. However, though, putting up little things that are going to make you think more before you act is quite important. Especially with other buffs that we got in. Power Shield. The attacker's basic attack deals no damage, but still generate power. Special attacks deal plus 400% damage. Oh god. Make sure that you're evading. That's the main thing. Buffet. Whenever the attacker triggers a buff, the defender nullifies it and regenerates 5% of their... Oh god. So you're punished for having buffs. Great. That means that you will change up your champion selection. Masochism. Whenever the attacker puts a debuff on the defender, he defender removes it and regenerates 5%. Oh god. It's like, will you not stop regenerating? Not a huge amount, but still it can be a bit of a pest. I'd say very kind of boring type champions may become more interesting. Ones that don't receive so many buffs could be an asset. The defender begins with a curse that deals 2.5% of their max health as direct damage per second. Whenever a champion with a curse hits an opponent, the curse is transferred. The curse switches champion after 10 seconds. No contact made. Oh, cool. That's like hold the bomb, isn't it? It's like hot potato. It's like pass the bomb, pass the bomb. Oh, that's quite cool. Even though it's going to be an absolute nightmare, but I like the idea of it. Like I said, originality. Shatter. Every time a buff expires on a champion, they take 2.5% of their health as direct damage. Oh god. There's going to be a lot of punishment, especially if they're going to make it hard for the point of the first time you get in it. So, oh, this could be fun. No, it's not going to be fun. Let's talk about tasty prizes. Ah, right. So this is when it first comes out. Right, Chapter 2 completion. Yep, tasty rewards. The Grandmaster shards we'll kind of get onto in a minute. Chapter 2 exploration. Oh, yeah, it is nice. It is really nice. The 5-star awakening gem crystal. That's good. It would be great if it was like a, you know, you get to stipulate which one you apply it to, like a standard one. I mean, it's great to see again tier 2 alphas making a return into you know, the rewards. And obviously, depending on which faction you chose, you will get a special title as a result. So that's cool. Grandmaster fragments. And first of all, when I saw this, I was like, oh, I'm thinking of Grandmaster Sexy from WWE. But coincidentally, these are quite sexy because they can be incredibly helpful, especially with considering that the collector, who is the end boss for Chapter 2 of Act 5, is going to be a little bit difficult. And a lot of the effects with regards to class-specific shards and star-specific shards can be very helpful indeed. For breaking down the enemy, for improving your things like regen. There's so many things that are going to be helpful in your fight against the collector. And it may be very, very applicable to save these for a time, because these are only limited time and can be, like I said, an asset to fighting against end bosses or harder aspects of the game. I think when I first read this through, I was a bit concerned we were going back to this socketing thing and kind of gearing, but it isn't like that. It seems to be a better system of working it, obviously based on what we've got at the moment. So maybe Command want us to take our champions at the level that they are and then add to them. So basically the difficulty threshold for, say, the Collector is so high that we apply more onto what we've got in order to make the fight a little bit more equally balanced. But I think when we get that chance to fight the Collector, we'll get an idea whether or not we have to get these fragments or these shards of Grandmaster variety into our champions to make them a lot better. But it does seem a little bit similar to what they were trying to push out a little while ago. It does seem that whichever side that we choose, it's going to be helpful for us in the future. As we just talked about, the aspect of fighting the Collector, each side that we choose is going to be beneficial. Actually, both sides are going to be very beneficial for any kind of fight that we do. I'm not sure if the Grandmaster side may slightly edge it, depending on what champions we use, because obviously ability accuracy can be incredibly helpful. If you're thinking, right, I need the signature ability of my champion to be shit hot, then I need something to kind of boost that. And if you're thinking that you're applying the synergy team of Quake and Hawkeye, and you know that would increase that exponentially with regards to a higher percentage. But at the same time, yeah, block proficiency is good, but you know, attack and regen plus 10%, assuming that the characters that you were going to use for Act 5 Chapter 2 had regen, because it may be a case that you don't want to use regen characters quite so much because of the disadvantages that the Collector would have against this. So you'd be like, well, I don't want to take this Dr. Voodoo in because he's going to be punished against the buffs that the enemy characters are going to get. It's going to be very frustrating for that. Or maybe you're thinking, well, I need completely like major regen, so I need that. I think you really have to decide what are your go-to champions, but at the same time, you're going to have a look at the buffs that the enemies are going to get and make assessments prior to going in. I know I will be. Oh, this is cool. This is incredibly cool. The idea of pitting two teams against one another. We didn't see this at all with like Civil War. So this is like a new element with regards to like arena scoring. And it runs for 3 months, and this is week long, so I'm assuming that's going to be a 7-day event as opposed to maybe a 5-day event. And there's some pretty major kind of things with regards to scoreage. So there's extra rewards given for kind of like the war, so to speak, the Elders' War. But the milestones are still quite substantial and kind of increase as they go. And we've even got like a threshold for 10 million points. Now I don't know if I would I'd have the time to kind of grind that out, man. That's taking days off work. That's some crazy million pointage. I think I'd have to kind of assess how much I'm able to put in, but that's, you know, I want those five 5-star generic signature stones. Even those crystal shards are going to be incredibly helpful. I don't know what the greater Grandmaster shard crystal is going to be. Hopefully it's going to be resourceful. I guess it's going to be those shard things that we talked about a moment ago. So yeah, this is going to be pretty exciting, but I'm going to lose my life. My life is gone. The ranks are pretty good as well. You know, for whatever you're kind of grinding in and putting in, you've got some titles like Warlord. Damn, that's a nice title to have. I wish I had that. I wish I could get that. Probably will never get that. That's going to be an insane amount of pointage being put in. The next thing is Tier 2 Alpha Fragments. A great resource. We've got some loads of 5-star shards. Again, more generic signature stones. 5-star and 4-star varieties. A real mix. Even like fully formed 4-star crystals. Man, this is really good. And it doesn't stop there. If you are the winning faction, then you know you're getting 10 4-star signature stone crystals. Great. 5-star signature stone crystals. Great. That's like doing master mode without any effort. It's really, really, well, it's something they haven't seen before. This is amazing. This runs, as all of this runs, from June 15th all the way through to September 10th. There's a lot to get done in the game. So I don't know really my kind of plans for it. I may grind a lot more of Arena for the first month, like Blitz Arena. Get a month's worth of battle chips, resources and stuff. And then, boom, go into Act 5, Chapter 2. My plan is to complete Chapter 1. I probably will have to divert as much kind of attention in my spare time and kind of like do more streaming in order to kind of balance it. But that's what you got to do, guys. You've got to think about completing it with the first 3 months. I think I'm just about to kind of reach that kind of point with Act 5, Chapter 1. But it's all about time and a hefty grind, and that's the name of the game when you're playing Marvel Contest of Champions. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's just an overview of this information here. Obviously, it's important to kind of consider Arcabam saying the truth, or are they telling a lie when it comes to the information that they said on Twitter, where they said that this information is not completely accurate. So maybe they've scaled back some of the rewards. They better not have. They better have increased them. Based on the way that things have been for the last few weeks and months of the game. So anyway, what's your thoughts on Act 5? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks very much for watching this video. Like, subscribe, maybe share, and I shall catch you on the flip side. Bye bye for now.